Welcome. This is your boy We-On-Loc Nation here. Um, I had to do an early live. I didn't think I was gonna go live around 6 o'clock because I had some stuff to do beforehand. I don't know how I'm gonna feel afterwards, but if I go live again, it'll be regular time, 6 o'clock specific, 9 o'clock Eastern time. But I'm streaming on both ends until I figure this thing out. I guess I'll just stream on both ends on StreamYard and on YouTube. All right, until I can figure it out. But either way, before I mean, oh, read the title, of course. Um, Trump, the Antichrist, must go for the sake of, and I entitled it wrong. Just to let you know, I entitled this wrong. I was just quick on my feet to title it this way. It's my fault. I do apologize. I meant to say he Trump must go for the sake of Black nation, pretty much. The only reason why I said our nation is because everybody is going crazy at this moment, and everybody, um, not to throw any religion in, not to throw any religion in there, but for the sake of Christian nation, because everybody proclaims to be a Christian now. Uh, Even him, he proclaims to be a Christian. Even Trump proclaims to be a Christian, which he is not. Um, he has the nerve to drop bombs on Muslim Muslims and Arabs, even though we have Muslims and Arabs here that he doesn't get along with. Um, the lady that was murked in the car, did anybody dare to ask her, was she a Christian? Because we're very big on Christianism. So a person comes up to me, I'm not going to say who, asked me a question. He said, "When are you coming to church?" And I say, "Why?" He said, "Because evil is on its way here." I said, "What evil, son?" And he said, "The Antichrist is coming." I said, "The Antichrist is already here." "What up, Maurice?" "The Antichrist is already here." And he got scared because he wants me to come to church and pray because so he can see. I was like, my son has a lot to learn about Christianity and different religions. It all comes in packages and different wording and different parts. You got the Bible, you got the book of the Bible, you got the Quran, you got this, you got the Sota, you got this, you got that, you got Buddhism, you got plenty of different religions. Plenty of different religions. What he doesn't seem to understand is Donald Trump does not care about anyone but himself and is willing to go to war over nonsense. He is willing to go over war nonsense. This thing right here, what I heard last night, and still continuing to keep an eye on the ongoing riffraff that's happening in Greenland right now. Remember when I told you, and what others told you, several different countries, including Canada and including Mexico, are in the mix. And I don't know why he's starting with Iran. Or not starting. I don't know why he's coming after Iran. I guess he wants to be this known big superpower. I guess he wants to be known as king. That's why he's damaging the White House, spending millions and millions and millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars on restructuring the White House on our tax dollars, um, and raising up raising the tariffs, the tax dollars on Greenland. I'm like, if they don't give up per se, and man, you know how that story goes. So I'm trying to calm my son down, and I say, look, being the father that I am, I say, your belief is your belief. I'm not going to take away my son's belief because I want him to read into what he is reading into, not reading at it, reading into it. He's not going to fully understand, but by the time he will learn, by the time I teach him these things. God isn't going to give you what you can't use. God is going to send you something, and he's not going to give you something that is going to harm you, hurt you, whatever. What God is going to do is going to give you something constructive to think about. And it'll be your opposition to think it is real or is fake. My son and my daughter are real heavy into Christian religion due to their mother. We argue about certain things, but I try to give him a specific viewpoint of how this country works and how religion works and how it's all related to each other. And when it comes to Trump, they don't pay too much attention to CNN or Fox News or any of these corporate news shows. But anyway, so he goes on and Donald Trump starts announcing these stupid ass tariffs and say, whoa, you are going to raise the tariffs if you don't comply and blah, 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 blah. And then, like I said, all nations who are involved in protecting Greenland, they're already on the ground as we speak. I'm thinking, what's the point? You're going to get thousands killed, all because of your damn temper tantrums. And I'm seeing all over YouTube, which is a good thing. I'm seeing all over YouTube now. I don't know if you call them liberals or freedom fighters or what, but they're doing like call-in shows, right? They're doing specific call-in shows for Trump supporters. And all these Trump supporters say the exact same thing. They call in and say the exact same nonsense, He's choked down the cost of gas. He's giving lower cost taxes to the United States when actually he's lowered the cost of the rich. He has given tips for tax. He has not put in tax. He put tax on tips. Blah 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 blah. And I said he has done none of these things. He has done zero of these things. He has not negotiated anything. Anything he tries to negotiate goes on deaf ears. Just like those freaking tariffs in Brazil, just like those freaking tariffs from Canada, just like those freaking tariffs from Japan. And he tried to do that same shit with China. This is one of those scare tactics from, and people are not going to take it anymore. There's just simply not. I don't know about you, and but I knew what was coming. I already knew it was coming before it even started, but I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was going to be insanely crazy to this degree. I didn't know that. I didn't know that this thing was going to be so damn concerning. Everybody, Sweden, Iran, freaking, like I said, Mexico, Canada, all these different countries are involved now. And no one wants to hold him accountable. No one wants to hold his feet to the. No one wants to step up and face up to him and say enough is enough. No one wants to say to Trump, sit your white fat ass down. No one wants to say that to this guy. Didn't I tell you I told you the other day, and when I play a clip of this guy expressing the exact same thing that I just stated, he was in the. Remember when I told you I didn't tell you the city that Trump was in? Mind you, he was at a field. He was at some type of plant, some auto plant or some fucking whatever plant that he was in. Stopped the line from moving because he wanted to walk through there. Stupid. And suddenly, someone yelled obscenities towards Trump. Trump throws up the middle finger and throws the F-bomb at he was at Fort Plant. So he throws up the middle finger at the guy and throws F-bombs at him. I didn't know that was presidential-like. Normally, and I don't want to throw racism in there because y'all be tripping in the chat when I throw in Obama, but any president that practices common sense, humanity, and all this other stuff, they don't throw middle fingers up at. They don't throw. They don't do the whole temper tantrum thing. Because remember when I told you Donald Trump has reduced himself down to a 12-year-old boy because he is old and because he's dealing with medical issues. He has written. Word of mouth is he has Alzheimer's disease or developing Alzheimer's disease. I don't know how true that is. Don't quote me on that. But he's dealing with health issues. Okay? Trump has no rules because he believes in his own. He believes in his own law. But we'll see what happens down the road when we start voting. We're going to see what happens down the road. Because if I I said this long enough, and I'm gonna stop ranting because I'm I've told you this many times. If one hair is harmed in Greenland, if he messes with anybody in Greenland, shit will hit the fan. And when we forget, I already said several nations were involved. They did a damn poll, and no polls don't mean shit, but they did a poll on CNN stating the approval of taking over Greenland, and mostly Republicans, around 53-54% said sure. 47% of Democrats said no, you expected that, yeah, whatever. But overall, independently, people are getting tired. People are really getting tired. They're getting tired of getting ran over by this guy. If it's not ICE, then he's gonna try to take it over with his only unlawful rule. And people are getting sick and tired of it. People are really getting sick and tired of it. And it keeps buzzing me. So let me toss this in. Nope.
And it escalates. And
nah, I'm gonna play that clip a little later. I am going to play that clip a little bit later. But like I said, if I don't go, and I do want to apologize for I didn't mean to go live this late. I didn't mean to go live this late. I meant to go live around 6 o'clock, but apparently I'm doing something. So please forgive me. And I also want to thank you all. I also want to thank the new subscribers and the old ones for getting me to 16K. It was a journey. I don't want to sound like beating up on a dead horse, but I had influencers trying to have me do different things, and this is not the best one. This is not the best one per se, but it's working thus far. It's something that somehow I'm getting into more and more and more. This is a very awkward time due to all the mess that's going on, but I do want to thank you for the 16,000. I do appreciate it. So let me continue with this.
To take over the semi-autonomous Danish territory. He ramped up the pressure on the Arctic island today, saying he'll impose new tariffs on Denmark and several other European countries unless a deal is reached to purchase Greenland. Today, a large crowd of people taking to the streets in Greenland, telling Trump their homeland is not for sale. The same message was heard in protests in several Danish cities earlier today, with thousands taking part. A U.S. delegation of bipartisan U.S. lawmakers is in Copenhagen, meeting with leaders from Denmark and Greenland. And amid the growing tension, several European nations have sent military personnel to Greenland for joint exercises. We've got team coverage of these developments. We'll go to those protests in Greenland in a moment, but let's begin with Betsy Klein and these new tariffs that President Trump is promising. Betsy, what more can you tell us?
Right, Frederico. During President Trump's second term, we have seen him use tariffs and specifically the threat of tariffs as a key negotiating tool. And he appears to be doing that right now with Greenland. That is the Arctic island that is controlled by Denmark that Trump says the U.S. needs to control for national security purposes to counter threats from both China and Russia. Its strategic placement in that Arctic region. This, of course, has spawned major pushback from Greenland, from Denmark, and from other top European allies, with many deploying military personnel to the island this week. And it could have significant economic impacts on those countries, as well as top European countries that are key trading partners with the United States. The president had noted that he could use tariffs on these countries to apply some pressure, but putting names and a number on it today in a post to social media. I want to read to you a little bit of that very lengthy post. He said, starting on February 1st, 2026, all of the above mentioned countries, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Finland, will be charged a 10% tariff on.
Now, look at this. Look at this. And I'm sure some of you Americans, whoever you call yourselves, I'm an American. I'm an American. I'm an American. What the hell does that mean? I'm an American. I'm an American. I'm an American. What's your point? Hey, Mahogany, my love, how you been? How you been? How you been? How you been? I'm just irritated, right? I'm a little bit irritated, but I'm calm enough to do this live stream real quick because I got some family stuff I need to be doing, but the attention is rising above. And people are nervous. Christians are saying the Antichrist is coming. The Antichrist is coming. The Antichrist is coming. The devil is arising. The devil is on a mission. The devil's is ready to take your souls down to hell with him. I say, believe what you want to believe. If your faith is strong in the Lord, then that's all you need. But not everybody believes in the Lord. But anyway, look at what's going on here. Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, Norway, and Finland. Not to mention that he wants to take over Mexico as well. Did you know that he tried to change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of the United States? Oh, I forgot to tell you that. Let's see. Also take over Canada. Why Canada? That's quite whatever.
Any and all goods sent to the United States of America. On June 1st, 2026, the tariff will be increased to 25%. This tariff will be due and payable until such time as a deal is reached for the complete and total purchase of Greenland. Of course, giving officials just under 2 weeks until February 1st to find some sort of negotiated agreement to avoid those pricey tariffs. And there were meetings this week with top officials from Greenland, from Denmark, along with Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, to try to resolve this. And they agreed to keep talking, but there wasn't any clear resolution reached there. The president has also suggested that the possibility of leaving the NATO alliance remains on the table. Listen.
Pull out of NATO if it doesn't help you acquire Greenland. If it doesn't lead to
well, we're going to see. NATO has been dealing with us on Greenland. We need Greenland for national security very badly. Yeah, we're talking to NATO.
Now, a new CNN poll indicates.
No, but the point is, Barb, that he wants to change everything in his name. He wants to change everything gold and just, price worthy for all the rich. So the rich can live a very fiber and delicate life and leave all of the rest of us behind. I'm pretty much thinking, and I'll get to, I'm going to tell you about Minnesota. Minnesota has this crazy idea, right, of getting millions of people together to rise up to Trump by saying, we will not work, we will not buy, we won't do anything until he is out of office. I say that's very noble of you, but good luck with that. The only way to stand up to Trump is, number one, to do the things that you did, I say, a couple of months back with this no king stuff. Get that going again and go down to Washington and throwing up with the middle finger. No, I'm playing. Going up to Washington to just saying no. We're not going to stand for this anymore. You've taken too many lives. You've suffered and made people suffer a little too much. And I know it's too much for you, maggot people. I understand. And some of you are antichrist too. And people don't believe he's going to be impeached. I say, let this thing happen in Greenland. Let this specific thing happen in Greenland, where and by the way, using the 25th Amendment, by the way, you got to use the 25th Amendment. Go over there and start some shit over there in Greenland and see that your ass don't get impeached. See if your ass don't get impeached. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you like the content, which I'm trying to get better each and every single day at it, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the join button down below. Barb, if you could kindly assist, please, my beautiful one. And if you feel a little, upset, I'm not Dean Withers. Dean Withers, I don't know what they see in that boy, but he be getting stacks and stacks of papers. I'm not asking for no stacks of papers. I work for a living. So, but $1 here, 50 cents there. Not as twos and fews. If you feel that way, just saying. And hit me on the Cash App. Just saying. If you feel it. Just, please. Anyway, let me stop.
Indicates that this policy push does face stiff headwinds from the American public, in addition to those protesters that we are seeing today in Greenland and in Denmark. 75% of Americans in that CNN poll say that they oppose Trump's efforts to take control of Greenland. Many of the president's own supporters are against this move, so clearly he needs to do more to sell this unpopular policy to the American public. Frederica. All right, Betsy Klein, thank you so much. Let's go now to Greenland, where we find Nick Robertson. So, Nick, tell us about these protests taking place in that country today.
Very popular protest by, I think, even conservative estimates. There's 20,000 people in this town, and perhaps a third to maybe half of them came out on the streets. And it was a very sort of simple message to the White House: Greenland's not for sale. ask anyone on the streets as we did today, and that was the message. Dig down a little bit, and you get flavors of what else they would like to see. They would like to see independence in the future for Greenland, but it was very much sort of focused around families today. The Prime Minister came along. He told the local broadcaster here in Nuuk in Greenland that had been in Denmark and he wanted to come back here. Is attending a lot of talks in Denmark, but he wanted to be here to be part of the protest here. The protest marched all the way through the town and ended up right outside the U.S. consulate. And there was the Prime Minister of Greenland on a snowy outcrop of rock right above the U.S. consulate, waving a big Greenland flag, giving a big speech in Greenlandic to the people gathered there. There was somebody else, another politician there who was speaking a bit in English. Again, that very simple, clear message.
Why would anybody want to take on just a sidebar, why would anybody want to take over something as cold as Greenland? Now, I guess because they had some type of minerals over there. Anything. Well, everybody knows that every country has a little bit of something in it. Africa, whether it be Northern Africa, Southern Africa, doesn't matter where you are. The minerals, the diamonds, the gold, the coltan, pretty much everything that is in Africa, including the stuff that Donald Trump needs for weapons of mass destruction, anything that he needs, he is willing to get at any freaking cost, even at the cost of your lives, whether you know it or not. But there are way too many Trump supporters nowadays. Way too many, in my estimation.
Greenland is not for sale. We don't want to be part of the United States. And I talked to some youngsters there as well, a group of young people.
Oh, by the way, did y'all get y'all $2,000 stimulus check? I'm just asking. Did y'all get y'all stimulus yet? I've been in the mailbox. I got my mail key. I looked in there, didn't get nothing. Nothing. If you think he's going to do anything for Americans, think again. He's talking about giving these people hundreds of thousands of dollars to come over to the United States. For what? He's tricking you in making these shoes and making these ugly ass shoes and this phone deal that you had to deposit in $100. He's making his family rich, and you're not seeing that. He's making his family rich, his 2 sons and his daughters, which he has made some very sus remarks about, but people don't care about that. They just see him, and everybody knows where this is headed. And on top of that, if things don't go as well as planned, we have 3 more years of this. 3 more years of Trump, 3 more years of ICE, 3 more years of chaos. And who's to say that if things go wrong, things go left, and they hit a Trump supporter on accident, they put a chokehold, which is illegal, on a Trump supporter, what's to say that these Trump supporters are going to get angry at liberals? Who's to say if if liberals get mad at Trump supporters? Who's to say? It's going to be chaotic. My point being, it's going to be chaotic. But people are looking, these supporters of Trump are looking for something, or they feel that they belong, or they feel like he is going to give them something that Biden or Obama or anybody from the left, when it really doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a damn difference. What did George Bush give you? Anybody who lives in the Gen X era, I want you to put it in the comment section what George Bush Jr. has done for you, what George Bush Sr. has done for you, what Ronald Reagan himself has done for you. I will wait for that comment. Maybe not everybody appreciates the last 4 years. I will agree with you on that. But that's just our opinion, if you will. That's just mostly our opinion. Some like it, some didn't. Some liked it when well, let me start on Obama. Some liked it when Obama, the first black president, even though the first black president wasn't the first black president, but I'm not going to put that on you. Not just yet. They were happy with him just because he was in the White House and because he can turn shit to gold. They were loving it. They loved what am I talking about John McCain for? They loved old Joe because of the way that he gave the gays a right. But what about the blacks? Blacks don't have rights. I believe they have one right. Right this way. And they love them stimulus packages too. They love those stimulus packages. It was 3 of them. Actually, it was 4. The 4th one was kind of okay, but it was 3 stimulus packages. But back to my original question, why does he want Greenland so much? He could have taken over Hawaii, someplace warm. But I just already told you because of the minerals they got there. But anyway.
Well, they were 20 years old, they told me, in their first jobs. And this is their future they're talking about. And they told me how they felt about how many people they'd seen come out today with this message.
I did not expect so many to be here, but it warms my heart to know that we are all united together to stand by and fight Trump.
And what's your message to the president?
Our message is that Greenland is our country. We cannot be bought. We are people, and he should stop whatever he's doing because we are the people of Greenland.
So what you could hear being shouted in the back.
I feel bad. A part of me feels bad. A part of me feels bad. A part of me feels upset. You know what to do. Hey, talking to my dear friend in the chat. You already know what to do. You already know what it is. And no, I'll tell you I'll tell you what I feel bad about. I feel for the people of Greenland, and I feel for those people, not just in Minnesota, but the people in LA who had to endure this type of nonsense from someone who has no control of his bowel movements, who has no control over his what is it, the AOC, the shit that you take. Well, if Trump isn't the Antichrist, who is? And I say that, when I say it, and I look at it, and I look at him, and all I see is someone that they said, that's the guy that can take us places. Even though he's not he's not nothing, he doesn't know anything political. He is a businessman, a terrible businessman at that, which some of you know that already. But annually, overall, he is the worst of the worst. But he ain't taking my money. He might be taking your money, but he definitely is not taking my money. Lisa, I'm torn.
Oh, really? Wow.
He's gonna get us killed, and we have already established that last week. He mentioned something about rising up the tariffs, aka taxes, if they don't comply, because they need the resources. We all know what resources is over there. The same thing that happened in not Gaza. The same thing that happened in Nigeria. The same thing that happened in Venezuela. It's the same thing that's going to happen in Mexico. It's the same thing that's going to happen in Canada. You warned me about these things, and you were right.
Unfortunately, I really wish that I wasn't, but you know, some things are very clear to me. This man, to me, is not fit. The decisions that he's making are ludicrous, and I feel like he needs to be removed from office, because he is going to start a war, and it's going to affect us. It won't affect him. He'll have his Secret Service and all those people to protect him. And he just does. I just don't understand how he can say he's patriotic but have no compassion for American people. Raising all these tariffs is doing nothing but hurting us. And I just hope that the revolt that is going on in the House and the Senate, it is enough to stop him from doing anything further, because before he can move forward, he's supposed to have permission of Congress once again. But they're hiding under certain things, or a matter of national security, and, you know, insinuating that there are leaks. If Congress is made aware of it first, he's saying that there are leaks coming from Congress. I don't know if that's really accurate, because it could be coming from his office just to do a publicity stunt.
What do you think of possibly maybe ICE turning into military agents and him provoking the Insurrection Act on Minnesotans and possibly the rest of the world if they keep cooperating in a way that people feel that they have the right to exercise their First Amendment rights. But according to Trump and I want to say Christy Knoll and others, that these people are terrorists, right?
Mm-hmm.
And being military and I thought that this was about getting rid of illegal immigrants. But according to a friend of mine who I just listened to not too long ago, they getting rid of your black ass too. They're pulling black people over too.
Well, I had told you that all I know is that whatever happens in this country, black people always get the worst end of the stick. And
meaning if white folks catch a cold, black folks get the flu. Gotcha.
Right. And the thing is, he tricked people. He sat up and knew a lot of people were upset about what was going on as far as immigration. They knew that the American people spoke when they put him in office for the things that he campaigned on. But just as I said before, I'm okay with deporting the illegal immigrants. I'm not okay with the unnecessarily force and violence. It does not require that. It does not require violating American citizens' rights, because my thing is, some of these people at ICE are covering up their face.
Every complaint in the world.
All of these other things. They're white supremacists. Some of them are prejudiced. Some of them are targeting people, as you said, that are American citizens just because they feel they have the authority. So all I can hope for is that, one, the impeachment of Christy Knoll, that will be enough to shake up ICE. And secondly, that a federal judge stops them from doing some of the things they're doing. One thing I do know is that the Black Panthers have stepped in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're patrolling the streets with their, he was like, look, make sure your weapons are more powerful than theirs. And I see that as a big problem. I do, because if there's a situation and you're not a legal police officer and you step in and you shoot somebody, what legal premise do you have? Other than maybe the presence of the Black Panthers will show them it's not business as usual. You're not going to be able to come in this neighborhood and just abuse people. We're not going to stand for it. If you think you're going to do this to me, I'm going to show you I have the Second Amendment right to bear arms. I have my license. I have my permit. And if you get in my space and you try to invoke those things on me, I am going to protect myself and my space, because I am not an immigrant. I am an American citizen.
Right.
Since you're going after immigrants. Him stating that, putting like travel bans out where certain people from certain countries can't come into the country. The things that are to come. All that we can hope for is that I don't trust either party.
Me either.
I really
either.
don't. But I see what is happening with this party, People Pro.
Me either, but check this out.
What did you say?
No, but I was gonna say I don't trust neither party either. But at this moment in time, and of course this happens every freaking 4 years, we all know that. But at this particular time, this is one of the reasons, and this is one of the reasons why I like Jasmine so much. But apparently, I mean, people don't want her, to become a senator, a junior senator at that. I mean, we're just talking about a senator, not a president. But anyway, I just believe that she's a little bit different. I'm holding on to faith that she can make a difference, especially in the state of Texas. But I'm looking all around. I don't see anyone else. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not doing as much research as you tell me to do, right? But I know trick bags when I see them. I know trick bags. I know bag chases. And to me, Jasmine is she's one of those stars. She's one of those shiny stars that are left amongst the cosmos. And I'm willing to put my money on it that she can make at least some difference, but people need to remember that she is political. She's in politics. Politics aren't made for just one nation or one person or one ethnicity. It's for everybody. If she is called to Israel to do some business in Israel, she can't say no to that. Everybody is for everybody when you're in politics. You can't just say, it's just like my boy said it the other day. He said, if I'm president of the United States, right, I can't just say Black Power and make it work. And I got to go over here to Russia. I got to go over here to China. I got to go over here to Sweden, Norway. I got to go to all these places. I am a politician. I am the leader of the free world. And my responsibility is to all, not just one. If you want a leader, find a leader amongst your community. That's how that works. But another thing, leader only gets you one way. It'll get you paid off or killed. That's why we need leadership. It's not just one person. We need a plethora of leaders, but sad to say, we don't even know who we are because we're just fighting back and forth on who's the leader, who ain't, fighting over who's the cult and who ain't, all this FBA stuff, all this Adolf stuff, Israelites, blah, 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 blah. It's all messed up at this point. And last thing, my son came up to me and said, when did you come into church? And I said, I don't know why. It's like the Antichrist is coming and you're going to be left behind. I said, what are you talking about? He said, my pastor of my wife's church, he says that, they were going over the 13 steps and there was only 4 left and you're going to be taking the mark of the beast and blah, 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 blah. I said, do you know how many times I've heard that throughout the years? And correct me if I'm wrong, but Sweden has already taken the mark of the beast. There is a video out still where You can't use a credit card, or you can't use, even the military, even parts of the military do this already, where you scan you don't use any type of card or anything. You use your hand. You have a chip in your right, chip implanted in your right hand, and you swipe it, and you can buy anything with, if you have the chip in it. I said to my son, that's been happening for quite a long time, ain't it? The ice cream trucks out there, but I mean, I don't know. What say you?
Well, the commander in chief, we the people, we appoint that person to represent all of us, not, just white, not just black. That is what our elections are, and that's what democracy is. And we run around this world preaching democracy and saying, look, if you invoke these political practices, your country can be much better. This works. But what works for one doesn't work for all. I don't know if you've ever heard the saying, a still tongue makes a wise head.
Yep.
And what that means is it is better to keep your mouth closed and listen than running your mouth, letting someone know what your next steps are. Now, I support Jasmine a lot, but what I understand, she's running for the Senate in Texas, and she cannot do anything alone. She would need the support of other people in the Senate to make a significant difference. And from what I've heard her say, that is exactly why she's going to the Senate, to make a major change in the Senate versus staying in the House, because the Senate is a mess. We have several things, like right now, the Affordable Care Act is up in the Senate. 17 Republicans joined with the Democrats to pass that the Affordable Care Act be extended 3 more years. So if the Senate passes it, then that is law. That is what will happen. If they do not, I guess we go back to the drawing board. All these things with the other countries, some things, a lot of these countries reject the Westerners. They reject us for the way that we act. I don't understand, why would you want to keep attacking our allies? Why would you want to make enemies of our allies? Because at the end of the day, the behavior the commander-in-chief is showing is that he cannot be trusted. How can you trust someone that has an agreement to be a part of other nations, to be as one, that if something happens, those nations in agreement will stand firm together for a war? Instead, you are breaking away from NATO. And that's not a good idea.
Yep, you're an ally.
Pardon?
Your ally.
Yeah. And the things that are going on with him, to me, he has his hands in too many wars. He's sitting up threatening to do this to this country, and he's going to take this from this country, and he's did this and he's did that, and nothing that he has done that I've seen or heard reported on has been majorly beneficial for the masses, the majority of the American people. It may have helped a few and some, but the majority of people, it is not helping. And that's why a lot of people are upset. That is exactly why, mark my words, this year, the House and Senate will flip blue because people are angry. I mean, Trump can sit up all day and call it fake news, fake polls. He can do that all day long, but reality is reality. You know, he thinks we're stupid as American people. We're not. A few of us are. A few of us don't pay attention. But for those of us that are paying attention, we don't like what he was doing. A lot of people thought that when Trump was talking about people, he wasn't talking about them. He was talking about the other people. The farmers never thought that Trump was going to attack them and he was talking about them. They thought he was talking about those other people that pick their vegetables. And they've come to find out, oh no, he meant you too. You get no money. I care if you cannot support your family. So what does that say about who he looks for and what he stands for? He's about starting drama, sitting up when he does not agree or like what some of these other congressional people say. He jumps online and calls for people to attack them.
Yep.
And in what world is that okay?
People just...
Yeah, and this stuff is serious. People actually, last year, a husband and wife from Congress got killed. These things are not jokes. These threats you have, as we know, the one on Hakeem Jeffries was one of the people that were pardoned from the insurrection. Mm-hmm. You have several of these people that have committed crimes, some of which are against children. You heard me right, children. But they're not talking about that. Mike Johnson doesn't want to sit up and acknowledge the truth. He's losing control of his party. People have had it. Trump has went too far. You have the Supreme Court, no matter what he does, they say it's okay because it doesn't affect us either.
Hey, Lisa, did you hear about the woman that gave the woman from, I think it was the woman from Venezuela, I'm not sure, that supposedly, allegedly gave Trump his peace prize?
I heard that she was going to do that. The lady that's the vice president. Yeah, but the thing about that is you can't give someone else your Nobel Peace Prize. You can't change the rules. You can't change what is documented. You can verbally say it, but legally you can't. It's non-transferable. You can dedicate it to them, and I don't know if that's legal, but you can't give it to them and think that it's going down in history in the books as, Donald Trump's. That's the thing. He thinks he can take everything by force and he can manipulate and bully people into doing what he wants without earning it.
Oh, he gave him her Nobel Peace Prize. What the?
Yeah. He was upset. He was upset and talking about, they gave Obama a Nobel Peace Prize and he didn't do anything. They gave it to him shortly after he got in office. I don't see Trump has a problem. That's his problem. He worries about Obama too much.
No, it's his damn temper tantrums. It's his temper tantrums. I keep telling y'all.
He's jealous of Obama.
Why? Obama hasn't even ran since what? 26? His last term was...
Right. He served all of his term, his 8 years, but it's something between the two of them that is really, really something that he's focused on.
Always embarrasses him. Always embarrasses him.
It's just like I said, how he would get up and lie and say that the polls that are showing, him 30 and 40 points behind on the different subjects that they're asking the American people, that people take part in these polls. A lot of people, when they're asking are people happy with the way he's running the country?
They say
immigration, wars. Right. I have seen nothing that the majority have sat up and said, yes, we like the job that he's doing. No, the minority of people, there may be some that are supporting, but he doesn't even have a fourth of people that sit up and say, I like what you're doing. And the numbers are getting worse and worse. You look at it, any election that has happened in the last 6 months, whether it's a senator has died and the seat has come open, however the seat is vacant, the Democrats have gotten those seats. Mm-hmm. And that should be an indication to people who want to be honest with themselves. People don't like the direction this country is going into. We do not want a war. We do not want our military fighting us. That is not what they're for. And, he's run the deficit up, but the Democrats are the ones that always get accused of spending money and running things up. I see the Republicans, they don't care about the price of anything. It's just going up and up and up. He just asked for $1.1 trillion, not billion, dollars for the military budget. Up from, I believe, 88 million.
Question. Should I just go ahead and I'm gonna ask you this question too. Should I just go ahead and just do like a call-in channel? Should I just do that? Because people are just asking me the same old question, about the border and about gas prices and all this other stuff. Do you like he close the border or not? It's like, what's a border? What's a border that anybody can? What's a border that anybody can dig a hole under or swim under or run across that bitch? What are we talking? What are you talking about border? And I seen the border. What type of border do we have where we closing a border that's not even finished? Looks raggedy.
Well, that is what boosted ICE up. That, it's ICE's job to handle immigration. And because they say Joe Biden let all these immigrants in, I'm not going to agree with that, because what did Trump do in 2016 when he was in office? He didn't do anything with the immigrants. He started a wall that he didn't finish. He campaigned on. And if you look at his track record, the things he campaigns on, he never delivers. He's too busy tearing up rose gardens and building ballrooms and sitting up having Great Gatsby parties at Key Mar-a-Lago when the rest of the government is shut down. I think it's very simple. Nobody gets paid until they settle these issues. You can't come to agreement because it's getting ready to be time for them to do this again. Is the government going to be shut down again?
Yeah.
For how long?
Who knows?
What country was that Trump gave all that money to while the government was shut down? It wasn't Brazil, was it? Oh, no, he gave all this money to help them with their economy.
It was either Israel or Argentina. Someone said Argentina.
It's Argentina. That's the other thing. It's not clear what is going on. That's what I'm saying.
Wait, they gave $40 billion?
Huh?
They gave $40 billion to Argentina?
I thought it was 80 or 88.
For what? And we starving over here.
Jasmine has covered this and brought this up on one of the committees. There's a hearing on it where she addresses it specifically. While our government is shut down. He has money to throw to other countries to help them with their government. She does address this in one of the congressional meetings. This happened a few months back during the government shutdown.
All right.
I don't understand cutting, programs for daycare and things like that. I don't understand why it seems like you have a vendetta against our children.
This is your boy. This is your boy. This is your boy. That's your boy, Trump. That's yours.
What did you say?
I wasn't talking to you.
He's whose boy?
I wasn't talking to you. I wasn't talking to you.
Look.
I wasn't talking to you.
Oh, I know you're not talking to me. Trump's not my boy.
But we got to hear from your girl, though.
Okay, make me come through this screen.
We got to hear from your girl.
Okay. Okay, spitting nothing but Jim.
About that moment, hate and fear were being weaponized by the powerful to terrorize those they saw as powerless. But here's the other truth about that time. The people were sick and tired of being sick and tired.
There it is.
And so at lunch counters and on buses, in classrooms and in the streets, Dr. King and the leaders of that moment reminded the people of their power, reminded them that it doesn't have to be this way, that the power of protest, of organizing, of the collective can change the course of our history and its country, our country and its history. And Chicago, isn't that true today? Isn't that true today? I will tell you, standing on the balcony at the Lorraine Motel yesterday, I thought about what Dr. King would see if he looked at America now. And what would he think? And what would he say? And I do believe he would see that people today are sick and tired of being sick and tired. When the president is rigging congressional maps to cheat, when he called a court and crafted a court to gut the Voting Rights Act, to silence our voice, when he incites distrust in our election infrastructure so that people won't vote, well, folks are sick and tired of being sick and tired. When the federal government rips people out of their car, out of their home, out of their church, when families are separated and a mother of 3 is shot and killed by an ICE agent in Minneapolis, people are sick and tired of being sick and tired. When our differences are treated as danger, when neighbors see one another as the enemy, and when social media and misinformation take hold of our lives and the lives of our children, well, people are sick and tired of being sick and tired. When rising costs and stagnant wages force working families to choose between rent or medicine, between childcare or groceries, between dignity or survival, people are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And when the President of the United States calls the civil rights movement, quote, reverse discrimination, we are sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Oh, she wants to be a black girl.
Now, I know many people in our country are feeling overwhelmed right now. Isolation and loneliness have led to despair. A long broken system has fueled cynicism and, yes, apathy. And people are rightly angry and profoundly frustrated. Far too many have resigned themselves that, well, I guess it's just going to be this way. All while those in power attempt to divide the American people, attempt to make us distrust each other, to turn on each other, all while having us believe we are powerless in this moment. But let's pause for a minute to see the echoes of history. Yes, the threats we face, but also the power of the people. Let us see, like then, this is a moment not to throw up our hands, but a moment to roll up our sleeves, to organize, to register people to vote, and to speak and act with truth, power, and
You know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do, right? Because I'm getting real.
What are you gonna do?
I'm getting real sick and tired of these menacing maggots, especially in my chat. Public service announcement. I will be voting. Of course, I'm gonna be voting in November, but I will be voting Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States. Yes. I'm going to be voting Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States of fucking America. There, I fucking said it. Quote me on that. Quote me. Quote me. Quote me.
I just would like to know, what has she said? Everything she said has come true during what was her small part of campaigning. What she's saying now is true. I mean, the truth is the truth, and the people are starting to see that. A lot of people are saying, you know, he's not looking out for us. He's done a few things that we wanted him to do, but a lot of these things he's taken to the extreme. And, you know, just like you're saying, what's all these people who have lost their jobs because they've terminated them and done away with those jobs? Those people have bills to pay.
I don't give a good goddamn if she's black or not. The point of the fact of the matter is she's a woman, and guess what? I want to see each and every one, not every one of you, because most of you don't have a problem with all of that. But for those maggots, all the way right maggots, and for those heartwarming conservatives out there, I want to see each and every single one of your faces. Each and every single one of your faces when they give her the inauguration. When they give her the inauguration, and she starts doing voices to the voiceless. I want all of you to laugh. I want each and every single one of you to laugh. Just laugh. Laugh away. Because a woman is in the White House. And when Jasmine is in the Senate seat, she's a junior. She's 44 years old. She can't be a senior. Although I do have a question with that. I want each and every single one of you to laugh because, correct me if I'm wrong, they say that a woman is a bit more intelligent than males are. Not to get into that whole stigma of that, but to have a woman like this would be so profound. But here's the kicker. And yes, I know she's married to a white man. I know that too. But dig this. What if Kamala Harris handpicked Jasmine Crockett to be vice president? Double whammy. I want all you Negroes and all you all the way white ringers. I want Nick Fuentes. I want Nick Fuentes to see this. I'm calling Nick Fuentes out. I'm calling Nick Fuentes and I'm telling straight to your face. Hi. Hello. Oh, by the way, I'm going to have my blue pen. I'm going to have my blue pen that says, voted for Kamala / Crockett. Hi, how are you?
Oh, really? Well, to tell you something, Nick Fuentes was talking in the last 2 weeks, and he was saying that he is not going to vote for J.D. Vance, that he was going to vote for Gavin Newsom, and he went through this whole thing. He had a picture of Gavin, his wife, and their children, and he was saying, look, you have a handsome white man up here. You have a beautiful white woman up here. You have beautiful children. And then he went to J.D. Vance and was like, look at his wife.
I know. He
look at his children. So
I know.
He's saying he's not voting for J.D. Vance because
of his Indian wife.
Because the family is not all white. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. So what does that say? That's something else. Gavin Newsom has done some things. And I don't understand that you knew J.D. Vance's wife was Indian when the ticket was announced for president. So are you saying you didn't vote for Donald Trump and J.D. Vance? Because everybody knew about his wife before Trump won the nomination. I think Nick Fuentes is confused because of his own heritage. I mean, a lot of these people kill me. They go into this white supremacy attitude, and a lot of them, they're not all white themselves.
Wait a minute. Nick Fuentes is Hispanic. That dumbass is partly Hispanic. Now, if someone told him he had African in his family, he'll turn batshit. He would literally turn batshit.
Yeah, did you see his interview with
Clay? What's the guy's name from? I know you don't watch comedy shows. What's the guy's name? Troy. Reword that, bro. But thank you for that, though. But reword it. What the hell is his name? Clayton Bixby. He is the Clayton Bixby of YouTube. We're talking about the same man. You're talking about the same man. Okay. The reword, please. Do not say the GAY word in the chat, please. Do not. Just reword it. Say sus. Say the word sus and put a rainbow behind it, but don't say the word gay. Because obviously I have a problem with YouTube. YouTube has a problem with me. F them. Now, back to you. If he did, thank you, DL, thank you. But if he specifically found out that he had African in his family, that he specifically knew that through his grandma or through his grandpa, that would be it hit a shitstorm. It hit a fucking shitstorm. But I just want to call him out and let him know. Guess what? Hey, homie. Hey, Bolingo. Don't afraid of where you come from, Holmes. Don't worry, we'll take you back to Mexico and let the people do a dirty Sanchez. Do you know what a dirty? No, I don't want to tell you what a dirty Sanchez is. Everybody.
Well, I mean, it would be.
Everybody knows what a dirty Sanchez is. How the fuck you gonna say? I'm cussing now. How the hell are you gonna say? I don't want the Mexicans here. I don't want the Mexicans. I don't want the blacks. But you're half white, half Mexican. You might as well be African. So, what kind of contradiction is this? That's just like saying that the black dude from the Green Dragon Ku Klux Klan, who retired, by the way, a long time ago, stating that he was fucking white, right? Or am I going off?
Mm-hmm.
Am I going off the ledge? Do you even know who I'm talking about? The only black guy who was in the Ku Klux Klan.
No.
You didn't know about the black guy that was in the Ku Klux Klan?
I've heard that thing. I've heard about it. I haven't read it or researched it for myself, but I have heard about it.
Oh my. The one person that has
I think that's part of the other problem too.
Didn't know that there was one black guy that was in the Ku Klux Klan. Wow. He was fake from what? No, he was real. He was 100% real. He was 100% real. But I guess he just had a change of heart and he just started. Lisa, why am I having that? Why are you echoing? Darren.
Why am I what?
You're echoing. His name is Daryl Davis. That's what his name was.
Okay.
That's what his name was, Daryl Davis, and he was, I think, the leader of the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan. So, I'm surprised.
Oh wow, he was the totem pole.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't know this. A person of your ilk is feeding me all this information.
I guess I'm too busy reading the politics.
He was very hell. He was on the Jerry Springer show a long time ago.
Oh, you know what? You're right. I remember now.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. Yeah, I remember him being on the Jerry Springer show. Yeah, I remember now.
All right, let me finish up here.
And I look around this room, I know the people of Chicago, well, you uniquely understand that the fight requires courage. It requires stamina. And it requires commitment. It requires us to show up even when we are sick and tired. Because we are sick and tired. So to the leaders here, I say, let us continue to be clear-eyed. They may want us to be afraid, to be divided, to be silent, but we won't give them that satisfaction. We will continue the fight with determination, with resilience, and dare I say, with joy. I got it. So in the spirit of Chicago, it is time to bear down.
Well, yeah, I think I will be voting for her. She's Israel first. I don't know. I just want to see, my whole point to this is just to see her, or excuse me, see men in red pill spaces. I want to see the look on their faces. I just want to see the look on their faces. I want to see the look on Anton Daniels' face. I want to see the look on whatchamacallit's face. What is his name? It starts with an A. I forgot what it was. We were speaking on it old ass last week, huh?
You know I don't know these YouTube people.
I know, and it's a waste of time. But you know about Anton Daniels because they're still doing the whole Corey Holcomb Anton fight, which it was funny, but enough is enough. Enough is enough. Now it's talking about, well, he's not intelligent and all this other thing. And what would if he would have said D sucking, he would pop Anton in the face. Anton, he this and he. I don't care anymore. I don't. I got way better things to worry about. The world is not going to go into hiding. The world is not going to build these underground bunkers and put rations in them just because these two niggas can't function as elderlies. Like, they're damn near 50 years old. They're damn near 50 years old arguing over what? First, it was about politics, right? And then it shifted over to who's gay. And you a D sucker and all this other nonsense. It was funny how, now Corey's a comedian. It was funny how he got up and sat where Darlene was sitting, and Darlene, bless her heart, she had nothing to do with this. Nothing at all. I just think if I was Darlene, I would have left a long time ago. One of the reasons why Corey Holcomb is so controversial and no one comes to his platform except for a few people that one of them I do respect, is because he is so controversial and he talks about the same exact fucking thing that red pill dudes talk about, what the manosphere people talk about, and they still play his videos to this day. Kevin Samuel's videos. They still play Kevin Samuel videos. Like, come on. I'm over that. I'm way over that. There's about to blow up the United States is about to blow up Greenland. And we're about to go to war. And if they get embarrassed, it's going to be like Vietnam. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? And Vietnam, we lost. We lost because we couldn't take those people over there. But we want to talk about Anton and this bullshit. Who do you think? I know all that, but who do you think won? These other countries are standing too close to do it. Huh? Your microphone. Put yourself on pause. Are you talking to your son?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I was wondering. But you can talk about whatever. I mean,
I didn't put
y'all can talk
myself
about. Huh? But like I said, y'all can talk about whatever you want to talk about. But that whole Anton shit, I'm done with that. I'm pretty much done. He doesn't have anything for me other than a bunch of nonsensical word salad that comes out of his mouth. I'm pretty much done with that. I'm sticking to what is basically more important, and of course, the whole reparations thing. Just to remind you, you ain't gonna get no reparations for the simple fact you don't know yourself as well as the people behind you. The people behind you don't even know who you are. They don't even know who you are. They just know it's like they owe us for what happened to our ancestors back then. We are a lineage. Even though we didn't build shit, we don't own and control shit, but we are a lineage to who? Oh my God. Anyway. Yeah, I'm on pause. You get all right. Oh, okay. But yeah, that whole thing with Corey Holcomb, I'm done with that. But anyway, yeah, but to know your people are holding us back and not standing up for the Black community who has been robbed and stepped on. Not even Obama fought for us. We all know that. Not even Obama fought for us. We need someone like me for real. Well, if you want to run for Congress and you want to run for that, go right ahead. We will hear you. We will hear you and we will back you, but we'll hold you accountable for what you do. All right, we will hold you accountable for what you do. I mean, we'll be free to listen to you. We'll definitely be free to listen to you, though. Just like we listened to Obama for all them years. Just like we listened to a whole bunch of people back then. But I'm listening to Jasmine, even though she's not in my state. She's in Texas, but she has proven herself to be that person. To me, I can't really explain it thoroughly in detail, articulately like that right now, but I might end up doing another thing about Jasmine, and one of the reasons why, if I was a Texarkana, why I would vote for her. Maybe I'll do that. But right now, we're just gonna go ahead and Trump Anonymous. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the
Today, Donald Trump took a big step closer.
Stop. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Real quick, Minnesotians are not taking it anymore. They're not taking it anymore. We're not gonna take it. No, we're not gonna take it. So what we're going to do is not work work, buy or sell anymore. We're going on strike. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but do it to your own discretions, I guess. I don't know. Let me come on, play this clip. Second clip, I guess.
And in Michigan, decided to give the finger to a worker there. Is that not just the most perfect microcosm for Trump's whole presidency that you've seen?
I mean, the thing about it is like he's talking to him from above him.
Yeah.
He like flips him the bird, and he drops the F-bomb against him twice. This is how he feels about working people. And that's the thing about it is like he couldn't just be bigger and be like, I'm the most powerful person in the whole world. He had to tell him how he felt. I mean, like, and this is par for the course of Trump.
I mean, what does it say that he...
But also, that hero.
Yeah, right.
Can we have a minute for that guy?
Yeah.
Also, there's a GoFundMe for him. Please do. I mean, and it's crazy that, like, Ford... I mean, the idea that Ford suspended him to me is crazy, right? That's his First Amendment rights. He was practicing. They decided to bring the President of the United States.
So they fired him. They fired a guy for his First Amendment right to speak. He didn't. Who's to say if he voted for Trump or not? He sounded like to me he didn't vote for Trump. They suspended him. They shouldn't even have suspended him. He's the one that. But wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're the president of the United States. You're supposed to practice some decorum. You're supposed to be practicing decency and humanity. What the hell? So they suspended him because of his First Amendment rights to speak. Good or bad. His opinion, right? But Trump's temper tantrum. I'm telling you. Military can't speak while serving. I didn't know he was military.
Stop the line so he could walk, and now that guy gets suspended. Crazy. Anyway.
Right. Well, what does it say that something as inconsequential as somebody just saying, calling him a pedophile potential, which, by the way, not baseless.
Yeah.
But like, what does it say?
Very good evidence. But, yeah.
What does it say that the president of the United States can allow something like that to get under his skin? What are the implications of the fact that we have somebody so thin-skinned, so impulsive that's what bugs him to that degree that he'll say "fuck you" as the president of the United States with all the cameras in the world on him to some guy working on the line at a car plant.
I think we're seeing it play out live in living color. I mean, you look at the raid to depose Maduro. A lot of folks inside the White House say that the last straw was that Maduro did a dance that was similar to his dance.
Yeah,
This is the reason why you spend nearly $1 billion of taxpayer money to depose a foreign leader. Okay, you're also seeing it in his choices when it comes to Minneapolis. They can't admit that poorly trained officers shot a woman in the face and that it was wrong and that there should be an investigation about how they used the power of the United States government against a 37-year-old mom. And now he's just sending more ICE agents to Minneapolis. You see it in the choice to probe a sitting U.S. senator from my state because she had the audacity to remind the troops what their responsibilities were based on international and American law. All of this goes back to the fact that he thinks that the most important thing he can do is to respond to spites against him personally. For him, the entire United States government is being used as a tool for his own revenge. And the last point is the Fed chair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see it all of the stories of 2026, which by the way is only like 14 days old. All of them go back to his own personal feelings.
Right. I mean, not just the Fed sheriff. You're talking about weaponizing the DOJ. You've got Letitia James, you've got James Comey, you've got Adam Schiff, which would be bad enough unto itself. But the fact that this guy came into office under this pretense that he was going to end the weaponization of government that was apparently out of control under Merrick Garland. Merrick Garland, of all people. I wish that Merrick Garland was as rabid as Trump and Republicans have made him out to be, and yet here we are now. This is weaponization at every corner. But I'm glad you brought up ICE, and I think this is a good opportunity to talk about this. Not just.
Well, let me tell you this, because somebody said that no one spoke against Hitler back in the 1940s when he was basically getting away with the same stuff. I was not born back then, but reading in the Nazi Germany, I would definitely say that the Holocaust was very bad. And I'm not taking anything away from the people who got slaughtered. There were millions that were slaughtered during the Holocaust. But the difference between, well, I can say Trump is Hitler all day, even though they were throwing up the Hitler signs and everything, and they were doing it. And Elon Musk was doing the exact same shit. So I would say that the difference between this, and tell me if I'm wrong, is like while they were stuffing people in ovens, stuffing babies in ovens, our babies were used as bowling practices, throwing them into the rivers, beating and cutting them up half to death, cutting our mother's womb and snatching our babies out the womb, using us as target practices. Look into the Jim Crow era. Look into the Dred Scott. Look into the Willie Lynch era. And you tell me if you had it just as bad as our people. And I encourage you all to read the book, The Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. I want you to read into that. But anyway, if anything, there are certain people who should be allied against our enemy. And speaking on the Black Panther movement, just to be brief, speaking on the Black Panther movement, I'm glad that they're out there, and I'm definitely glad that they are servicing people who need help. It's not just Black people that we're servicing, even though we are a Black first unit. The Black Panthers are a Black first unit. But people seem to forget, and I ain't calling out any names, they seem to forget, sir, that there was a young 21-year-old male named Fred Hampton and his buddy who started the Rainbow Coalition movement. That was a real Rainbow Coalition movement with brown, black, and yellow. Black, brown, and yellow. Black, brown, white, and yellow. Why am I not getting my colors mixed up? Black, brown, white, and yellow. And they were going to form a coup to buy, sell, and trade for one another. It's the same thing if you were to watch Sinners with Michael B. Jordan. It's the exact same shit. It was going to be the exact same shit. Well, a small town and a small country, small town and a big country where they will buy, sell, and trade for one another. Because believe it or not, some of these people are getting sick and tired of being sick and tired. As long as you don't harm my people, we won't harm your people. You don't fuck with us, we won't fuck with you. It's as simple as that. You want to buy something from me, I'll buy something from you. It's as simple as that. Go see the movie centers and see what I'm talking about. Lisa, you in there?
I thought that I was still in here, but you said something earlier about you couldn't hear me. Can you hear me now?
That wasn't me.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you fine.
Question.
Answer.
When are you going to have the discussion with Barb so she can come up? You can't keep running from the subject for forever. What? Scared a little bit?
She always proclaims that she wants to come up and have
I just asked her.
Me.
I just asked her, and she said she would come up when you want to have that discussion. Just asked her. Check it out in the chat. See what her answer is.
I'm looking, and all she's doing is she's just smiling and booing. That's all she's gonna do.
Yeah, right. She's gonna come in here and set you straight.
It's bad enough that I had to put down one. I'm gonna have to put down two. That's not good. That's not good at all. That is not good. But I have a question for you. Do you believe? Well, one person told me, and I had a conversation with the one person that we had a conversation with, but obviously, I guess he didn't get the hint. He didn't get the message, and he felt that he was doing the right thing by calling ICE agents and sending illegal immigrants out there. You know that person that we were talking about so long ago.
Yeah.
Well, I had that same conversation with him, and it didn't go quite well. It didn't go quite well at all. And but it's quite okay, because I bet you, if we look into his background, if we look into his family lineage, we're gonna find some immigrants. Just like with Donald Trump, we all know that we found some immigrants in his family. We all found some immigrants in his fucking family. But people pick and choose, for the wrong reasons.
Well, that's something that I'm wondering when it comes to the next presidential election. Are people going to sit up and judge based upon gender and race, or what they believe is best for the country? Because one thing about it, this country's gonna be in a mess. It's already in a mess. We have so much going on that is messy. And we don't know the half of it, because we have to remember there's top secret information and stuff that we're not privy to. Just think about what we know, how bad it is.
It's very bad.
I just hope we don't end up in a full-blown war. Because that's not what we bargained for. He campaigned that he was the president of peace. But what happened to that?
He has the mind of a 12-year-old. He's gonna get what he wants. He's gonna get what he wants, and apparently it's gonna work in his favor, because there's a lot of people that said do it. I guess they found some newly footage on the whole Reese thing. I looked into it. It's the same. It's the same old, same old. ICE agent didn't get hit. He didn't get hit at all. He had his phone out. He had his phone out on his left hand while having his gun on the other hand and pulling it out and shooting the lady. Blah 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 blah. It's the same thing. It's the same old thing. He shot that lady execution style.
Well, they can sit up and try to tell the American people what they see, but apparently there are those of us that have a brain, that use our eyes, that will not let someone dictate to us what we see and how we comprehend that. That's what all the protests are about. And since then, they've shot 2 more people. I mean, when does that end? I don't see how that's great. I don't see how everything that's going on is just great. I don't see that. I don't see the price of groceries being just great. I don't see all the people, like all the veterans. I'm a big advocate on the veterans. 80,000 jobs gone from the VA. Our soldiers, the type of medical that they get and the treatment they get is preposterous. Well, groceries may have been high, but they're higher now, and they keep climbing high. A year ago, groceries were not the price that they are now. A year ago, we did not have all these tariffs that people can sugarcoat it all they want. They are taxes.
Fuck the
That's what I'm saying. The VA does not give that
the Ku Klux Klan
anyway. Huh?
I'm sorry. There's a lot of Klan lovers out there, but go ahead. In the form of ICE, wink, wink. That's what I call them. I call ICE agents Klan members. As a matter of fact, since people love the Klan so much,
well, they have a lot of them in there undercover.
Yeah, I know. Yes, I know. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for hitting the nail in the coffin. Thank you for hitting the nail in the coffin.
Donald Trump appointed Hegseth that is over the military funding. And technically, yes, Donald Trump did cut the funding because that's what Hegseth did. They not only cut 80,000 jobs from the VA, they've come back and cut the budget as well. So, I don't know what you're talking about, but those that are veterans know what I'm talking about. Maybe you need to go to a VA hospital or try to access benefits. But Donald Trump, that's the problem. People do not hold him accountable.
And
it's sad with everything that's going on. How can you think that's patriotic and not hold him accountable? Because he's the president. He has the House and the Senate. So who else is responsible for all this drama, all these cuts, all this mayhem?
The people in power.
Mm-hmm.
People in power, the people who are in charge. But you want to blame Democrats for what exactly? Oh, you're gonna blame it on old Joe. Well, old Joe, he had to force himself into retirement because of his medical condition. So after that, the people thought that Trump was the man because people are expecting something, like I said, from Donald J. Trump, and the only thing they're going to be expecting is a big middle finger. That's all they're going to get. And that's what they've been getting. But I can't get an honest Trump supporter. Maybe one, maybe two, but I can't get an honest Trump supporter. And this is one of the reasons why I might do a podcast of some kind, maybe. maybe. I got to work out the kinks a little bit. And I got to work on my temper, too. I got to work on my temper. But I might just do one of those call-in shows or whatever. I might have to test that out tonight, see where it goes. But I have a TikTok account. It's activated, but I don't spend too much time on TikTok like that. But if everybody else can do it, I might as well just join TikTok, and which I really don't want to, because their laws are their policies are much stricter than YouTube's, even though YouTube won't even tell me why they demonetize my channel. It's kind of stupid, but either way. So should I do a call-in show so I can answer some of these crazy questions?
I think so, because I mean, some people, they have blinders on, or they just are ignorant to certain things. Like I'm talking about the VA. I don't care what anybody says. Our vets and our military should have the best, because they've put their lives on the line. People have lost body parts. They are traumatized.
Yeah.
And if anybody knows about the VA, it's not that great. And now they're cutting doctors, they're cutting this, they're cutting that. Come on. Where's all this money going for all you people who want to sit up and shield Trump? Where's the money for all these programs and federal jobs that they're not paying salaries? Where's the money at? I see you don't have a great answer for that. Where's all this money from all these jobs, all these paychecks, all these bills?
I'm tired of you talking shit. I am so tired of you talking shit. Why don't you bring your black behind up here and say that to my face? But no, what she said was she said I should do it, but she said I need some guidance before I jump into it. It's like, I already know that I'm not the smartest one in the drawer, and I know I'm going to get irritated at some things. So I'm going to need to do a little bit more research. But I don't mind doing panels. Panels are a little bit more different, because see, panels, I can just kick you off if I feel you're being disrespectful. You have to, and some of these people insert so much patience and so much like resolve. It's like, it's like, how do you do it? It's like someone poking at you. It's just poking and poke.
But you know what I think you should do?
What?
You know what? I know how you handle it. What you do, you handle it the same way you would with a little baby and a child. The patience you have with them, just sit up and reverse psychology in your mind that this is a child, this is a baby, and you need to have patience. And for those who don't know what they're talking about, I didn't say I was a civilian. That's what you said. I know what I'm talking about. You apparently don't know what you're talking about. And for those who have served that are in the chat, they're telling you what's going on at the VA. I mean, if you paid attention to what was going on politically, you would know this as well. You wouldn't be ignorant to those facts.
Come on, Barb.
It's not a secret.
It's high time you stop hiding. Come on, Barb.
We're not talking that nonsense.
We got a VA here, and I wouldn't be shocked if I went over to the VA, even though I have to drive like 30 minutes out, I wouldn't be shocked to hear some of these people how high of a medical bill they have. I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked.
Well, I know that some people have to drive at least 2 hours each way to go to the vet hospital.
Yep.
You have your clinics and offices for vets, and then you have hospitals like Dwight Eisenhower and different hospitals like that where you go for certain treatment, whether it's dental, physicals, MRIs, anything of those natures. And like I said, those people in the chat that are either vets or are married or no family members, they know that I know what I'm talking about and I'm accurate. And you think Trump is doing a great job, you applaud him for that, then you wonder why people don't want to enlist. I wouldn't want to enlist either.
He makes fun of people in wheelchairs. What the hell? He makes fun of your own vets. But what's worse?
I'm addressing these people in the chat that don't know what they're talking about. They're apparently not vets. And sitting up telling me I'm a civilian. You don't know what I am. Apparently, I know what I'm talking about. What's the point?
But hold on. Screw the vets for right now. No disrespect. Screw the vets. But hear what I'm saying. How about the middle-aged and the young people who signed up their lives to go to war for the United States and they're immigrants? Where's your bleeding heart for them? Where's your bleeding heart for the Asian person who fought and bled and died for this country voluntarily? Is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, aka shell shock, aka terminal disease. PTSD. I call it shell shock. Everybody elderly knows what shell shock means. Everybody knows. But my point is, you're suffering from that and taking heavy drugs to sustain some type of calmness, and even though drugs don't do anything but hyper sensitize your I can't even, let's just say body, for example. Hypertension, high blood pressure.
I have some pushback on that, Locke, because some drugs are helpful, whether you're vets or you're normal people. Some things people can't control, like bipolar and different mental health issues. Some of them have to do with imbalances and chemicals that your body does not produce enough of, like serotonin. And there are some medicines that give that an equilibrium. It's no different than, say, you have an underactive thyroid and you take medicine to make your thyroid work properly. That's the same with certain mental health diagnoses, that the medications allow people to function in a normal type of way, or as normal as it can be given to them. No. I mean, my thing is, you tell me why we can send all this money and help everybody, and we have vets sleeping that are homeless. That's what I'm saying. The medical, the mental. Mm-hmm. You have to think, to go over here in these war zones, that really messes your head up. People think it's easy to keep shooting people or seeing your friends blown up or losing a leg. So therefore, when you get the mental health, depending upon the mental health diagnosis, there are some that are chemical imbalances. Therefore, all medicines are not bad. They help some people live normal lives. So that's just my pushback on that.
I agree with you. I totally agree. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm just saying it's not just drug. I mean, anybody can take any type of drug and it'll feel good. How much of it are you taking is my point. how much of the drugs itself are you taking? I
Well,
mean,
you think,
me
you know, now they want that.
Me and you know.
Now they want vets to pay for their medication. And so just like other people are saying, what are you going to make the choice on, rent or medicine? Rent or food? Medicine or food? Medicine or gas for transportation to work, which is going to cause a systemic problem. Things are going to get worse. It's no different than all these people who have lost jobs. The crime rate will go up because people get desperate when they have children to feed, bills to pay, and they had a secure job where they could pay their bills. Now all of a sudden they don't. And then you have Kennedy and Hesse. They just lost their natural born mind. They weren't fit to be in these positions in the first place. Kennedy is over HHS. He's destroying health and human services and mental health for a lot of people.
All right. Just to show like a preview for those who don't know, this is one of the things that if I were to do this, then I would have to practice certain patience. I mean, we're talking about people that you just want to put in a chokehold for real, which is illegal in the United States, but who cares? Here's a little
gun directed at a moving vehicle. If it is the case that vehicle poses an imminent threat of serious bodily harm or death to you.
Now, the person.
Well, you know, I'm going to tell you something else. That's the thing with this administration. They don't want to give any credit for anything anyone else does. They just want to come in and destroy. Okay.
Destroying. You want to finish?
Oh, I thought you wanted me to stop. You had something to interject.
No, I was listening.
Well, they destroy things like I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with stopping the benefit for illegal immigrants, but they have a special fund for Medicaid and to the whatever that is that the girls get when they're pregnant and for the babies, you know, where they can go get the milk and the food and stuff.
Oh, WIC. You talking about WIC, or are you talking about SNAP?
And you know, Kennedy also wants to. Have you not heard about how Kennedy wants to put those chips in our body? Oh, WIC. Yeah, that's it, WIC. He wants to put those chips in our wrist. So not just to read, they want to manipulate and control us. And that's a great concern of mine because when you have surgeries and these procedures, you don't know what they're doing to you. It's really scary. Well, I know that immigrants have been getting benefits from the Department of Family and Children Services, and they should not. I don't understand how you can be illegal and you can get benefits from the government when there are people in this country that cannot get these benefits. Make it make sense. That's what I'm saying, from our children to our elderly. I mean, our elderly cannot
just over that
get assistance. Many of them have to do without major meds that they need. They don't have food to eat, and yet we can give food and benefits to someone that isn't supposed to be here, and you don't have a social. How is that being done? How is that being done? That's not okay. Imagine how much money this government could save if they weren't taking care of this Mexican woman or this immigrant having a baby. Do you know how expensive that is?
Yep.
You know, I was just in the hospital. That was $120,000 hospital bill.
Yep.
And I was only in there for several days. I mean, they're messing with Medicare. They're messing with Medicaid.
But people gotta work.
For what reason?
People gotta work. People gotta go out and work. And guess what? Working at home don't count.
But these are people who've already worked and paid into the system. What about that? This isn't charity. These people have worked and paid into Social Security. They pay taxes. Even when you own a home, you're still paying taxes. When you buy food, you're still paying taxes. This year, COLA was 3%. The cost of living allowance was 3%. Oh, it was 2.5%. Yeah, each year, people who get Social Security and disability and government checks like that, every year it's called COLA, the cost of living allowance. And depending upon who's president, it changes. I think with Biden, it was 7.8 last year or something like that, but it was nowhere near this. And we cannot survive if everything keeps going up. Of course, I mean, 3%, anything lower than 3% isn't going to help anybody. You're going to lose that in taxes. And these are the things that I want to hear about. These are the questions that I have for my local congressional officers. And these are things that I contact their office and I want to know. I need an explanation because you're not doing your job.
Can a hospital deny you of health care? Can a treatment just because you're an immigrant?
They can deny you treatment if you are acting a certain way. If you are unruly or violent, they can deny you treatment. Now they have a special form at the hospital. Say you've been admitted in the hospital and the doctor lets you go home, say after 2 days, for instance. You have a right to say, no, the doctor's sending me home too early. I need to stay in the hospital. But no, they can't deny you. That's what the big thing was about insurance. Everybody runs to the emergency room because you don't immediately have to pay. When you go to a doctor's office, they're not going to see you without you paying that copay or whatever that fee is to be seen. That's the first thing they want after you register insurance information. If you have a copay, pay. Then they see. Yep. But technically, anyone has a right to refuse treatment to anyone they want to. They may justify it under a lie, but 99.9% of the time, they do not turn people away. And that's why all of this stuff that is going on is going to be very traumatic with the rural hospitals closing and people not being able to get care and medicine. People are going to die.
Well,
you know,
it doesn't necessarily have to be, you don't necessarily have to be under anyone's care. What you can do is grow your own foods. Does help.
What are you going to grow it on if you don't own any land?
Well, there is there's this thing called a potter's plant. You know, you can buy it so small or so big. And you can grow your tomatoes or you can grow your little mustard seeds from there. You know what I mean. You know, start from there. Start small. Do some experiments like Dr. Sadie. Ooh, I won that debate. I don't want that. I'm just playing. I'm playing. But real quick, before I forget, this week on the 24th of this week is going to be Jasmine Crockett versus James Tallarico at a debate. They're going to debate for the sole right to have someone give them some money so they can continue on the campaign. You know, and there is early voting in March. And then the big head honcho is in November. Now, just a little, preview. Tallarico is leading Jasmine by 9 points, and I know why she is losing right now. It's because the people on the Republican side are voting for Tellerico to win. It's kind of crazy how Jasmine was leading in this poll, and this poll in 2025, but in 2026 she's losing. Riddle me that, Batman. How is she?
Well, if you remember when she was talking about she needed to look at the numbers, that's what she was talking about, the projected amount of voters she could get and what they felt that percentage would be and the likelihood of her winning. Now, give or take, and she's very vocal, so, they jimmy stuff sometimes. There's a leeway. Well, of course. I mean, she's always, she's always speaking on these issues that they don't want spoken on.
Jasmine.
And of course they don't want it. They'll do everything they can to keep her from being elected.
Not to take away anything from James Tallahassee. I have nothing against James Tallahassee. As a matter of fact, he has low-key said that Jasmine would be a great candidate for it, basically promoting her a little bit. Not too much because that's her competitor, but I want to see a whole new face. I want to see a brand new spanking face. I want to see that pretty little face turn it. But here's the thing, and Michelle Obama said this: we are not ready for a black female president. We ain't ready. And you know what? She's right. She is.
I disagree.
She said it. I didn't.
I don't care. I disagree. They don't cover it the way that it really is. They act like Trump won by a landslide, but he didn't. He barely won. So what does that say? He barely won. It wasn't like he won with a popular vote by a landslide. And I don't think it's going to matter what color it is, what gender it is. They're going to put a Democrat in the White House. Watch what I say. I'm telling you, mark my words. And it's not going to matter if it's a woman and she's black. I believe it will happen, and I believe the candidate will be Kamala.
Brother.
That's my thing.
Brother, you know you my brother. But number one, she is definitely for people, especially for the people of Texas. But the one thing that I wish she would concentrate on, and she has done her she is doing a good job, not a great job. She's doing a good job of talking to the youth, which I said diligently on this channel. I have said verbatim on this channel that the youth are important. The youth is who she should be talking to, because if, of course, all the policies, you got to get with me with all the policies, but every time I introduce a policy, every time I say something about a policy, he said, it's not a policy. Listen, what people want, if you come to her with concern and earnest, she will listen to you. You're just saying what you're saying because the Hispanics get with her first. White women get with her first. The Hispanic women get with her first. You go to her and say, where's our reparations? What is it? And she asked you, in reparations in form of a what? In form of land, in form of money, in form of land. And we all know we ain't stupid. Once we get, let's just say it's in form of money. You get like $250,000 per family, per capita. You get $250,000, it's going right back. It's going right back into white hands. First and foremost, because people often demonstrate that they don't care. They just want to check. We have been bamboozled for so long for that bullshit, for 2 decades now. It is time to let that go unless you are willing to shed blood. And most of you Negroes, I'm sorry to say, get mad at me all you want, but the statistics are true. You wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight. You wouldn't pick up a gun to save your brother's or your sister's life because, again, you against your sisters. You against your sisters because you proclaim you don't get any respect from your sisters. You proclaim that they're not loyal to you. But are you loyal to them? See, it's this infighting that we have to take care of first. It's this infighting. We're always infighting of who we are. We don't even know who we are yet. We really don't. We're going to talk about we are a lineage that is only 2 years old. Come on, 2 years old. Meanwhile, Trump is taking a big dump on your heads, and you think it's an umbrella, but really it's just some natural gold poop. And you think you about to cash in. You really think you about to cash in with this guy? And didn't your fearless leader vote for Donald Trump? I'm just stating the fact. Because you said it yourself, it doesn't matter who writes you a check, as long as they write you a check, they write you a check. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Mute up, Lisa.
Yes.
Mute up for a second. I want to get into this real quick. This is one of the reasons. This is one of the reasons why I don't know. I don't know about this. I don't know about doing this online. The chat call-ins and all this other shit. I'm just gonna give you a little demonstration of what Dean Withers does, and to get your perspective on if I should really do it or not, because I don't know. Some of y'all, not all of you, but the selective few get on my fucking nerves.
That period increased. The first reason has to do with the fact during his first term, 1.2 million black people were lifted out of poverty. If you don't believe me, go to the U.S. Census and look it up. Also, median household income for black people rose over $4,000 per year during his administration. So the answer is that's one of the reasons. Secondary, or the tertiary, I should say, the third reason I support him is his crackdown on illegal immigrants, not so much legal immigrants, but illegal immigrants. The reason I say that is because you had a couple of black people up here, and I was hoping at some point to be able to talk to them. Since you don't like to talk about black issues, I don't know why you can't. The mere fact that you white doesn't mean you can't talk about black issues, particularly if it's going to be a positive.
I will happily refute what you've said so far. Okay, like you brought up the fact that you.
Well, can I finish? Hold on. Can I finish? I'm not finished. I was going to tell you about immigration and how it specifically and absolutely, definitely economically depresses black wages, because the people it affects the most tends. Yeah, go ahead and look it up, Dean. I'm not
looking anyone up. I'm literally writing down your points as you say it. I'm not looking at anything.
Oh, okay. That's cool. So again, you can go to a couple of different sources to find out that illegal immigration, depresses wages, and it disproportionately affects the lower skilled people. And it just so happens a lot of black people are lower skilled And that's just the fact. There was a study done by the University of California in San Diego. It not only found that illegal immigration economically depresses wages and affects disproportionately low-skilled workers, and in this case specifically Black workers, they also found that there is a correlation with increased incarceration as a result of this. And again, it's not causation, it's a correlation. And they actually say that's probably because of the lack of job opportunities that they're afforded when you have more illegal aliens coming into the country and taking the jobs at lower wages.
Mm-hmm. Got it. I'm going to try to respond to that all. What do you want to start with?
The number of Black people lifted out of poverty in his first term.
So what do you think Donald Trump did to lift Black people out of poverty in his first term?
I think a lot of it had to do with, in 2017, his passage of the correct.
Yeah.
And because the biggest percentage of that took place in, there are seven brackets when it comes to the income tax, right? Those middle and lower brackets, they had the biggest percentage cut in their taxes. Also, you should look up the job creation, specifically Black job creation that took place as a result of a lot of deregulation that took place during his first term. But the fact that the economy was spurred during that period led to people making more money, and that in turn lifts people out of poverty.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll happily respond to that all. So first and foremost, I mean, you just said that there's less poverty experienced by Black individuals under Donald Trump in his first administration. Well, there's even less poverty experienced by Black individuals under Joe Biden's administration. In fact, according to census.gov, we reached an all-time historical low, the lowest level of poverty we've ever seen as long as we've been recording this data, which, by the way, it's only been about 75 years, at 17.1%. In 2023 under Joe Biden. On top of that, all right, I want to attribute any job growth, okay, for any American, including Black Americans, to be transpired by Donald Trump's Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. And the reason in which I would say this is because we have a macroeconomic analysis done on it, and which demonstrated that it only led to 0.04% GDP growth per year, which was a really bad ROI considering the fact that the bill cost $2 trillion. And B, another study done by a financial institution by the name of Brookings that demonstrated that under Donald Trump at his first term, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act led to no new macro level business reinvestment to create more jobs. And then you also added something on there about a historically low level of unemployment for Black Americans. Yeah, sure. We did see a 5.6% level of unemployment for Black Americans under Trump in his first term. But then we saw a 5.3 and a 5.1% level of unemployment for Black Americans under Biden in 2 separate months at 2 separate points. So if we're just simply looking at the data and then blaming it on the administration, which is governing while that data is the case, well, then we would say that the Biden-Harris administration outperformed the Trump administration relevant to the points in which you're making. And further, just to kind of expand on this topic of economic accelerants and performance for America as a whole, but more specifically Black Americans, under Donald Trump in the last year, okay, we have only seen macroeconomic trends get worse, okay? Today, our unemployment rate for everyone is the worst that it's been in 5 years. Last year, 2025, we saw the worst job reports, ignoring periods during a recession, since 2003, and over 1.3 million layoffs. We also saw GDP growth slow by % compared to 2023. We saw a massive reduction in business investment. That trend has continued, and things are just simply not looking good. And then to address your second points about undocumented immigrants, you said that they reduce wages and that this would disproportionately impact Black people. The point that you made there is that Black people are lower skilled. The highest level of acceleration that we see in education for any given racial demographic in this country is Black people. More specifically, Black women are becoming the most educated demographic of anyone in this country. So I don't really like that blanket statement that Black people are low skilled. And then on top of that, sure, undocumented immigrants who do have a downward pressure on wages, it's not their fault, but it's rather the system's fault because they have less bargaining power compared to citizens. they don't have long-term survivability in the economy. Their employer can exploit the fact that they're undocumented, threaten to to report them to ICE. They also don't have access to any social safety nets. On the federal level, then they only have limited benefits in 10 over 50 states. So if they're unemployed, they don't have like food stamps or Section 8 to rely on. They literally starve, okay, and then they die. Obviously, the way to fix this issue is to give them more bargaining power by granting them a pathway to residency or citizenship. So now all of a sudden they do have long-term survivability in the market. They're not under the threat of being deported, and they have access to social safety nets like food stamps, like Section 8, like unemployment, so on and so forth, if they don't have a job, which in turn gives them more bargaining power to hold against their employer to seek higher wages. And then one last point, I know that I'm saying a lot here because you really seem concerned with real median wages. We have seen a damn near stagnation in the growth rate of real median wages in this country since Donald Trump's inauguration for a second term, after near explosive growth under the Biden-Harris administration.
Okay, so we'll start with the last point you made about real median wages, right? Real wages did not increase during Biden's 4 years. In fact, they decreased. And the reason for that is because you know what real wages are, right? Yeah, you have to take into effect, okay, look it up, Dean, and tell me I'm wrong. Okay. Look it up.
I already have, Fred. So the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis tells you you're wrong. And my source would once again be the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis and the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. So, I mean, if you just go on Google.
No, Dean, tell me, did real wages increase during his 4 years? Yes or no? Because you haven't answered that.
Yes, by over 3%.
No, they did not.
Yes, the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis.
No, I'll tell you what, everybody, I don't care about, I'm talking about the Department of Labor. I don't care about some think tank, some left-wing
This isn't a think tank.
I will tell you.
This is a Federal Reserve.
Real wages did not. I will challenge everybody in the chat. Google, did real wages for Americans increase during Biden's 4 years, and come back and tell me what it's.
How much money?
Because Dean is being dishonest. Whatever you want to bet.
$500?
How much? Yes.
Like, share, and subscribe. So does anybody want to take that challenge? Anybody want to take that challenge?
I take the challenge.
Because I don't know. You tell me, Lisa, did wages increase or decrease during Biden's term?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. They stayed the same.
They stayed the same?
They were supposed to increase. But to my knowledge, they stayed the same. They didn't increase. I do know the economy was doing very well until January 28th. Trump and his supporters don't want to give Biden the credit that he truly is responsible for. Now, I don't see Trump doing anything for anybody other than the billionaires. I'm just, and I'm not sorry for that.
Okay, we just okay. Let's see if you're right. I'm gonna meet you because your son. How is he doing? By the way,
my son?
Yeah, how is he doing?
He's doing fine. He has a little cold, still a cold. How you heard him?
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, the weather here is sporadic. I mean, the high today is only 30, so it's kind of nippy.
It's 60 over here.
It's how much?
60 over here.
Oh wow. Well, last week we had some kind of right at 70 days, but here for the last several days at night, we're dropping down to 19, 14 with the wind chill factor. So it's been pretty nippy. I like it nippy.
I like it nippy. All right, let's see if you're right, Lisa. Let's see if you're right.
Whatever you want to go.
Okay.
How much do you want to go?
Whatever you want to name, you can go.
$1,000.
Bet.
Love it. All right.
Right.
Sounds good.
So if you just want to go to Google and you type in full-time, median usual weekly real earnings, wage and salary workers 16 years and over, you will see that in Q4 of 2021, the first year of the Biden-Harris administration, real median wages for weekly allowances were $362. And then in, let's go Q1 of 2025, real median wages weekly for people 16 and over were $373.
Yes. Okay. So that's 1 quarter on each year. Over his complete 4 years was the bet, Dean. During from 2021 to 2025 , Google that. Did real wages experience a net increase or a net decrease?
Do you want to go from Q1 of 2021 to Q4 of 2024?
No.
So what do you want to go
I want
from?
to go
Q1
from January 2021 to January of 2025.
Okay, yeah, so going from Q1 of 2021 to Q4 of 2024, yeah, they went from 373 to 375.
That is not true.
That is true.
Real wages. Okay,
that's what the Fed says. Literally, I'm right.
No, the Fed that is not wrong. People just Google what I just said.
Yes, everybody, Google this. Go to real median weekly earnings. Okay, in Q1 of 2021, the usual weekly earnings were $373. Okay, meanwhile, okay, in Q4 of 2024, usual median weekly earnings were $375. That is true. Do you want me to show you? How about I just show you? By the way, I'm being real gracious by allowing you to account for Q1 and Q2 of 2021 because we saw a spike in real median earnings caused by the pandemic, the highest in history for like less than a year.
The fact of the matter is real wages during Biden's 4 years did not increase. And you know the reason why? It's because of the dramatic inflation. There were months where we had 9% inflation. What month does your wage increase by 9%?
Actually, our real median wages increased the most when we had 9% inflation. Fun fact, because that was around 2022.
Did they keep up with inflation? Yeah, but did they keep up? Did they increase 9%?
They superseded inflation by a margin.
No, oh really? So real.
One second, Dean, I'm just gonna put them on screen. So there's Q1 of 2021.
I need to see the whole screen. I need to see the whole graph.
Okay, I'll show you the whole graph. Then here's Q4 of 2024.
Those are wages. Those aren't. Show me where it says real wages on there.
Yeah, I got you.
Not just wages.
I got you. You owe me $1,000, dude.
No, I don't. Show me where it says real wages. Because anybody in the chat, Google did real wages increase during during his only term.
Google will tell you yes. Damn, dude, you fell for some like Twitter propaganda, then bet $1,000 on it. Yeesh.
Dude, go to Statista and just look it up.
Or you could go to the Federal Reserve.
That's where they get it from.
Dude, okay, that's
their sauce.
Okay, can you read this title? Employed full-time, medium usual weekly real earnings. That is the name of the graph. There's the totality of the graph, and there's two larger screenshots of Q1 of 2021.
Put real earnings. Put real wages in.
Earnings are wages.
Okay, then then Google real wages then. If it's the same thing.
This is it.
If it's the same thing, Google it.
This is it. That is what I Googled.
Hold on. If it's the same thing, Dean, Google real wages.
I did. Here, I'll show you.
Because that's earnings.
That's wages. That's what a wage is. It's what you earn.
Then Google real wages and not real earnings.
That's literally wage and salary. That's what it accounts for.
I see you won't do that. I did. You won't do that.
I literally did. I'll show you. That's what I Googled.
Good. Show me where it says real wages, because that said real earnings.
Okay, earnings is wage and salary. I'll just show you.
Google real wages. No, I don't want to say. I want you to Google what I asked you to Google.
Okay, listen. I did Google that. That's what I got.
Okay, show me where it says real wages.
Yeah, you got
earnings.
I got it. Earnings is wages and salary. Here, look at this.
Show me where it says wages.
Here's a Google search.
I don't want to see that. I want you to Google.
Here's the Google search. Real median wages from Fred. Second result, median usual weekly real earnings. Okay. Under the metadata of the second result, the earnings account for wage and salary workers. One band, please.
Okay, here's what I pulled up. During Biden's 4 years of the Biden administration, January 21 to January 25, real wages on average experienced a decline. While the nominal wages increased, high inflation rates, particularly 21 to 24, eroded the purchasing power of those gains. Overall decline. By January 2025, inflation-adjusted real wages were cumulative about 1.4% to 1.6% lower than they were in January of 2021. You owe me a band, Dean. Nominal average hourly earnings grew by 19.7%. Consumer price index rose faster, around 21%. The CPI is the inflation rate. If the wages increased by 19.7, but the inflation rate increased by 21.5, that is a decrease in real wages. Now you send my band.
What's your source?
I just told you, Statistica, which gets it from the Department of Labor.
Statistica?
Yes, and they have the source. It's the Department of Labor. How about that? It's the Department of Labor.
Actually, you want to know who's pulling from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics?
You asked me for my source, Dean. I gave it to you, Department of Labor.
You're not pulling from the Department of Labor. You want to know how I know that?
No. Tell me how you know.
Because you see that graph on the bottom of the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just took a new screenshot with a little bit more information exposed under it. Okay? We're going to look at this new information together. Can you read that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What does it say? What does it say?
It says the Department of Labor Statistics via Fred.
Okay, so who do you think is more reliable to give us the data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics? The Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis or fucking Statistica?
Statistica pulled it from the Department of Labor.
Okay, very, very similar to how the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis is pulling it from the Department of Labor. But seemingly, okay, these two things can't be true at once since we're looking at the same data, median weekly earnings, real wages, okay, and we're getting two different results. So the question that I'll ask you here is who's more reliable? Some random website that anybody could access, Statistica, or the Federal Reserve?
If it's coming from the Department of Labor, which is what and I noticed that again, you haven't Googled what I asked you to Google.
I literally
real
showed
wages.
You. I literally showed you.
No,
this is my Google
haven't.
search was real median wages, Fred. Second result, median usual weekly real earnings, wage and salary workers. Okay? One band.
Dean, why do you keep muting me?
Well, I don't know. It was fun.
Yeah. Again, I want my band from you because you're wrong.
What?
Yes, you're
How am I wrong?
People in the chat, please Google, did real wages increase during his administration?
I just gave you the evidence that I'm right. Which number is higher?
The last quarter of 2024.
So they went up.
Is it adjusted for inflation?
Yeah, because it's real. Real earnings, wage and salary workers. Yeah.
Yes, so what you did is you took one quarter. That's quarter of 2024 and quarter of 2021.
The first quarter of the Biden-Harris administration and then the last full quarter of the Biden-Harris administration.
No, that's where you get, that's where, hold on. That's where you're missing, Dean. Understand, look at, you're here. So, okay, go back. Do you see the dip from the peak where it dips and then it goes back up? You're looking at a spot.
In Q1? In Q1 under Trump?
Yes, you're looking, listen, hold on, Dean. What you're looking
in Q1
at,
under Trump.
You are, hold on, Dean, you owe me a band. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, let me tell you why. Just listen. You're taking one quarter and comparing it to another quarter. You're not taking the entirety of his administration.
Actually, it is advantageous for your position to only look at those two quarters. It is very advantageous to your position to only look at those two quarters. Because if we only look at the first quarter of the Biden-Harris administration and the last quarter of the Biden-Harris administration, you only see a $2. One moment.
Dean, you can't take, because on one
quarter, I try to describe this to you?
It's higher than it was at the beginning. You have to take the entirety of the whole time because there were dips.
I'm trying to.
Let me ask you a question.
I'm trying to describe this to you. So only looking at these two quarters is disadvantageous to my position and advantageous. Okay? Because what this is accounting for is actually, like, for instance, what you could see in this graph. I'll just show it to everyone real quick. which would be the fact that after Q1 of 2021, real wages went down for 2 quarters. Okay, the same way that they were going down for the last 2 quarters under the Trump administration, because in 2020, real median wages were artificially inflated sky high due to COVID. So they dropped really fast. Okay, right? And during the last
and during COVID, people weren't working, were they not? I mean, you got
no, they weren't.
You got there are those people who work from home, but give or take, how many people in the United States work from home? Give a ballpark figure, 33%. But when you have to go out your way, oh yeah, you weren't working that day. As a matter of fact, you had this in certain cities and certain states. If you were caught, you had a curfew. Oh, y'all had curfews. We didn't. We didn't have no curfews. Maybe y'all did. I don't know.
6 months of Trump's administration and during the first 6 months of Biden's administration. So if we truly wanted to evaluate real median wage growth under the Biden-Harris administration, we wouldn't start at Q1 of 2021. In fact, we would start from like Q4 of 2021. But like the bet that I made with you was from the beginning of the administration to the end of the administration. And if you are going to be like hyper realistic and specific about this, right? Sure, I'll grant it. We could look at the very first quarter of Biden's administration and then the very last quarter of Biden's administration, which would be Q1 of 2021 and Q4 of 2024. And although, okay, the technical increase in real median wages is much smaller than 3%, because we're including some of that artificially inflated wage from the pandemic, there's still yet an increase of $2. So I don't know how many other ways to say this, man. If I was you, I would give it up. Like, it really sounds like this is stressing you out.
No, Dean,
if I were you, I'd make sure to give me a bit.
So in the chat, who you think won that one? Dean or the caller? Who said Dean? Who you think won that one, chat? But I just wanted to show you a demonstration of how it could be for me, but I genuinely have to practice patience, which I literally don't have patience for certain people. I just don't. But we'll see. We will see. Lisa? I know you got Lisa?
Yes.
I know you got a lot on your plate right now.
Yes.
I said, I know you have a lot on your plate right now. But I am going to play this one little last clip. If you would like to stay around, you can. Just let your partner know that I waited a whole hour for her and she did not show up.
Well, she said today wasn't a good day.
Today ain't
that we can do it another
day.
Leave her alone.
Why?
We can have the discussion if you like.
What discussion? I've already beaten you.
The Rainbow Coalition discussion.
What? The what?
Nothing.
What the hell? But either way. Like, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I already mentioned the debate. which is on the 24th of this week, with Jasmine Crockett and James Tellerico. Who is going to win that debate, I wonder? Who is going to win that debate? Because it seems like to me that James Tellerico, he's one of those, not take no prisoners, but pat you on the back and say, those good Christian dudes. You know what I mean? Versus Jasmine, who is very much even. You can make fun of the fact that she has wild hair. You can make fun of her nails. You can make fun of her skin tone. You can even make fun of the fact that she might be Haitian, which I say, who gives a shit if she's Haitian? If she's Haitian. So, go about it if you will. I just think that she's a better candidate and she should be running for the Senate race. That's just me. That's just my opinion. You can form your own opinion if you like. I ain't gonna crap on it. I'm not. I'm just really not. Wait, today isn't a day for conversation. We will have this conversation. Sure thing. Sure. We'll talk behind the scenes. Okay, I'll be here. Ready and waiting. But I'm gonna shoot this one a little last clip, and then that'll be it for me. You couldn't stick around, or you got some things to do?
I'll stick around.
Okay.
It's not an hour-long video, is it?
Nope. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay, I'll stick around.
All right.
I'm almost here.
This last one is from a good friend of mine, and he can, like him, love him, hate him. His truths are his truths. I think this is very interesting. You should do your research on him. Kevin, what do you got to say about ICE and their external BS?
Corrected me, yes. So hysteria and chaos are both feminine words.
Me?
No,
it's Israel. And they just did don't try to steal my damn thunder. Move to Thailand. Your rights, and they know an ICE rights card very soon. So, because it's going crazy. They're body slamming people, kneeing people in the head. These are American citizens, not the illegal immigrants. Even though that would still be bad if they were doing this to illegal immigrants, but they are kneeing American citizens in the head, like teenagers and shit. So, man, it's going crazy. But that's why we started Your Rights Foundation. All right, everybody, let's get into it. No, Timmy Tight Top new. No, Timmy. You trying to smash on China? Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, nigga, what are you doing? Empires in the past have fallen because they tried to grow outside of their means. They stretched too far. That's why they crumbled. Like empires like Rome and all the rest of that type of stuff. They crumbled because they were stretched. They were reaching out, stretching too far. Too much money. When you start extending yourself too far, that's in anything. Spread yourself too thin, you'll break. And so while they were doing this, out trying to conquer the world, the inside, the interior was crumbling. That's when you had the Visigoths and the Ostrogoths and all these people, the Vandals, all the people coming in and smashing on the Romans. Really, the Vandals. They were coming in and smashing on the bitches.
In other words, when you have somebody like Donald J. Trump trying to conquer this country, this small little country, that small little country, this small little country, that small little country, and then you're trying to go for the big guns, that's a no-no. You're trying to go for Mexico, that's a no-no. You're trying to go for Canada, that's a no-no. You're trying to go for Iran. That's a no-no. Greenland, even though they're small, they are still protected by those Southern nations, NATO.
Well, Denmark is responsible for their security.
There you go. There you have it. But now you got now you got several nations pissed off at Trump. But mark my words, people say he's not going to get impeached. He's not going to get impeached. He's not going to get impeached.
Yes, he is.
Wait till F around and find out. Mess with one of those people in Greenland. See if he doesn't get impeached. And he doesn't get war crimes put on him. See if he don't.
And that's why, the vandals that's why you got vandalism. They were just the savages. They came in there and they didn't give a damn. They just smashed shit, took food, raped women, took shit. That's how that shit was. And Rome didn't have people in the interior, in the infrastructure to defend it. Why? Because all they goddamn people was everywhere else in the world trying to take it over. Does that sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound familiar at all? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Does that sound like something that you've seen recently?
Mm-hmm.
So he had a meeting and they said, yo, bro, that ain't gonna be good for America. You will lose. First of all, that's why they killed, allegedly, that's why they took out Charlie Kirk, because he was gonna do this at first. And Charlie Kirk went to the White House and said, nah, bro. It's all this other speculation that he was moving away from Israel, all this and that. Yeah, all of that is true. That's part of the reason they took him out. But the main reason they took him out is because he personally, single-handedly stopped Trump from going to war with Iran. He went to the White House. He said, yo, man, because he is the lead. He was the leader of pretty much the Republican Party at this point, outside of the White House. All the MAGA and the young MAGA and all that. So he went back. He said, look, man, my base is not with this. If you do this, you lose everybody. Period. If you do this, that's a wrap for you, homie.
I don't know if I can say this. I'm not going to speak on it, but I have something here that's like, I'm going to say it. They paid that cat off. They probably paid him off. They probably paid that dude that assassinated or killed, whatever. I don't care. Charlie Kirk. Now that I know, Trump is a cold bastard, man. And y'all support him. Y'all support a person who has sexual fantasies about his own daughter? Make it make sense. That's crazy.
And so Trump, that's why you saw Trump only drop that bomb and he went in and got out, because he was like, oh shit, he had to balance it out. Like, oh damn, I'm gonna lose these bitch ass niggas. But then fucking Netanyahu, I got Netanyahu's balls in my throat. Which one do I do? Gargle the ball or lose the people? Gargle the ball, lose the people. So he found a healthy medium. He gargled one ball and he lost some of the people. Lane Elliott, thank you for the cash app. Appreciate you. He didn't. He pulled back. He was supposed to attack Iran yesterday, and didn't do it. Excuse me. Now they're doing this because
he tried to attack another country. Lisa,
I told you.
No,
Cuba, Iran, Venezuela. Yes, I did.
He's gonna get us killed. He's gonna get us killed. But y'all support it. Not you. Because you always put your name in it. And Barb, you always put your name in it. I'm not talking to y'all. Y'all support this.
Netanyahu knows they're losing America. They're losing MAGA. Everybody under 30 hates Israel. Everybody. Everybody under 30 hates Israel. And they just did a poll on that. They know that. And I would even say from 30 to 40, most of them don't even fuck with them, really. They'll be like, Israel, but America first. So they're losing a whole lot. And so they took Charlie Kirk out because he was stopping the war with Iran. So now that he was out of the way, they just were sure he was going to war with Iran. Like, did you see Lindsey Graham? After Trump decided not to go to war with Iran, this nigga looked like somebody shot his whole family. He killed his whole family. Well, the president's decided not to go to war with Iran right now, and we're gonna have to, we have to trust in the president's judgment on this, and we're gonna have to stand behind president.
Do whatever I want.
I they're really just tearing up the people over there. Like, shut your bitch ass up. You are a straight up fruitopian, hidden fruitopia. That's what Lindsey Graham is. He's fruitopian Graham, Grahamtopian.
Who is Lindsey Graham?
He's the senator out of North Carolina. He's always speaking up for Trump. Man, you know who Lindsey Graham is, right?
No, I do not know who Lindsey Graham is. I've heard of the name. Does stretch out to me, pause, but just the face. I haven't seen the face.
Yeah, you'll recognize him when you see him. Google him now, his picture. You'll recognize him.
All right.
That's your new name, Graham Toby.
I know you know him by face.
So he was upset because he's getting paid by he's Khazaria's main person. He's the number one person probably getting paid by Khazaria. Him and Rubio, and they're the ones in his ear, in Trump's ear, telling them to do all this shit. Plus, Trump got dementia. He got signs of dementia and shit. Of course, you're gonna have dementia when you 80 years old eating McDonald's and shit, motherfucker. You're not healthy. Trying to talk that shit like you healthy.
The Supreme Court Justice? Lindsey Graham, the Supreme Court Justice?
No, he's not a Supreme Court Justice. He's a senator. Lindsey Graham.
No,
Billy Graham.
I've never seen him before. I just heard of the name. I've never seen his face before. I just keep hearing the name. But now that I know who he is, some
he's just a senator, and he's been one for quite some time. He's always on Fox, of course. He'll do what's her name? Meet the Nation. He'll come on. He'll go on there.
I heard of him. He just looks like a Klansman to me. I don't know. But either way.
So
he's a bigot.
The last two presidents we've had have both had dementia. Is that not goddamn symbolism for America? Both of them has been old as shit, dying and suffering from dementia. Is that not America in a nutshell at this point? So Trump didn't attack. And that was to the good of America. Israel's pissed. All the goddamn neocons is pissed, but Trump finally stood on business for the first goddamn time. And then also, he was supposed to send troops to Minnesota. He was going to do that. He was going to invoke the Insurrection Act and send troops to Minnesota because they've been wilding out in Minnesota, going crazy. That's why you need to get over here and learn these goddamn rights, because the people in Minnesota They full of goddamn feminine energy. All the chaos all over the place. Chaos all over the goddamn place. Yes, chaos is feminine energy, everybody. just so we're clear, everybody. This is not being mean. Chaos, the word chaos means the cootie, the yoni. Go look up the word chaos. It means the gaping void. The yoni, it goes back to the word yon or yoni. Yoni is the cootie. The cootie coo. The divine lovely.
If you hate the truth, then you would rather go for the pretty lie. Yes, it is what it is.
Cootie coo. But every man knows if you ain't in control of yourself, it's chaos. If you're not in control of yourself, man, you know. If you come across some of that divine cootie, it's called chaos. And that's not me. Go look it up. Go look up the etymology of the word chaos. It will take you all the way to the word yon or yon.
And most Negroes don't know etymology. They don't. But I don't want to get too deep because some of you will look confused as hell. But I can give you facts today.
Yoni is the gaping void. So, just in case you didn't know, I did do this on wordplay though. It's directed me, yes. So hysteria and chaos are both feminine. You better get out here and learn this damn law. So, guys, when I'm looking for something, it starts automatically. This is not me.
Blob. And we just want to bring you the facts, and you make your own decisions about how you vote or live your life. Now to this story. The United States used directed energy weapons on Venezuelan soldiers during its kidnapping raid to capture Nicolas Maduro. Redacted has independently confirmed this news from multiple sources. And what we can tell you is that this isn't new technology, and the United States has used it on multiple previous occasions that have gone unreported. More on that part of the story in a second. But first, what happened last week? Because even if you think you're pro this raid or anti this raid against Maduro, it doesn't matter. You should still be asking, what in the world did the United States actually deploy in Caracas on January 3rd, 2026? And what is it and how did it work exactly? First, this was Operation Absolute Resolve, part of a larger Caribbean campaign, and the U.S. used roughly 150 aircraft in strikes around Caracas before Delta Force and CIA operatives grabbed Maduro and Celia Flores.
Yo, tell me he doesn't look like a Saddam Hussein clone.
Shut up.
That is a Saddam Hussein.
He says, quote, all of our radar systems shut down without any explanation. And then the next thing we saw were drones, a lot of drones flying over our positions. He then describes barely 8 helicopters and maybe 20 men total, but with a level of technology advantage that made hundreds of defenders feel totally helpless. Let me put on the screen one piece of this quote, which is really the full tell here.
Yo, Dion Spivey, thank you for the cash out, brother. Appreciate you. Got us up to 210 for the day. Thank you, bro. Thank you, brother. Let's see, did you leave a message?
Pouring blood out. Your head feels like it's going to explode. Totally helpless. So what are we really talking about here when we say directed energy? Well, a bunch of people online are kind of mashing 3 different things together. First, electronic warfare means attacking the spectrum. That means you don't need to blow up a radar if you can just jam it, if you can just spoof it, if you can just overload it, or cut the network. It depends on, totally. So it's just sitting there stupid. It can't do anything. The Economic Times describes something it calls the Wraith as an electronic warfare umbrella used in the Maduro capture, creating a digital blackout that paralyzed security infrastructure. Now, important note, there's also some confusion around that name as well, because the defense company CX2 also markets a product called Wraith, and they describe it as an autonomous airborne electronic warfare platform that geolocates high-value emitters like jammers, radars, and ground control systems.
Look at this.
And here's their promo video for jamming part of this, for that jamming part of the story. Let's take a look at this. He's pouring blood out.
So basically, it's like what they're talking about is like another version of electric impulse. Is it electric impulse? Your husband would know, Lisa. It's what is it that electricity hits the car and everything shuts off? It's not electric impulse. Impulse.
I'll ask him if he comes back in before the chat is over. Somebody hit my mailbox.
Who hit your mailbox?
I don't know. Somebody slammed into it in a pole, and I'm just glad they didn't knock down my brick wall.
EMP. EMP. It's the it's a little mini version of the EMP, basically.
Barb may know.
I just said it. It's EMP.
Barb may know.
Electric. Okay.
Oh, okay.
What's the define EMP? I said I didn't say empathy. EMP. You doofus. Oh, electronic pulse, basically. Electronic pulse. So basically, it just hits your car and you have no electricity, or it hits your house or it just hits anything electronically and it paralyzes it. That's all that is. So he's just demonstrating what they did in Venezuela to capture Maduro, blah blah blah, and all this other stuff. But I was just doing all that to show you basically what we may be getting into if we go to war. If we go to war. I hope we don't, because I'm explaining this to you and you, StreamYard and YouTube, and I'm gonna continue. And I'm gonna continue to stay on this for as long as I can until something else comes up. But it's just negotiations right now, and Trump's pissed off, and he's going his little temper tantrums because the people are saying no, and the people doing this, people doing, and even the people in his party and the Republican Party are turning their backs on him. Believe it or not. So,
we need to.
what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? But I am done for the day. I am not. Look, what I was going to be doing, I'm not going to be on tonight unless something important arises, which nothing important is going to arise. But it's going to be the same old shit. But y'all going to have to get the rest of your day. And Lisa, do you have any final words for us before we depart?
No, just to Barb. Her room is always ready whenever she likes. I'm always cooking, so you're welcome anytime. I'll even give you the code to the arms. Well, you saw what was for dinner. You didn't say you were coming to get a plate, but Barb's on her way.
Whatever.
Those are my final words. Enjoyed it. I think it was a very productive stream. I do. I think we need to have more of these discussions for awareness, because a lot of people aren't aware of really what's going on. So much is going on. So yeah, it was a great stream, I think.
Well, I'll thank you for that. So I will contact you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, no problem. No problem at all. And this is the We-On-Loc Nation channel. Like, share, subscribe.
I'm trying to get off.
All right. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit that like. And don't forget to subscribe to your boy, We-On-Loc Nation. And become a member.